I don't know what's going to be more offensive about this show. The fact that a bunch of Japanese girls beat a bunch of Canadians, or the fact that they did an idol dance right afterwards. Quite a first episode of Pride of Orange, or PuraOre, a series that is airing in the fall 2021 anime season, being done by C2C. Definitely an interesting show. But this is my thoughts on the first episode, so let's jump into it. This series opens up with Monica and several of her friends who are currently in an embroidery club. And as you follow this group, you kind of start to get to know them, see the little quirks between them. One's very much the sister type, one's the more kind of caring type. A lot of spats between these two sisters on a regular basis, all while kind of hanging out and enjoying their time. Well, at one time when they're at Monica's house, she ends up stepping forward and saying, hey, the reason why I was late to the club was because I was asked to hand out these flyers. They're flyers for this Dream Monkey group that is actually doing tryouts for hockey. And being as that their grandmother seems to have some sort of thing with, encouraging her children to actually try new things, they all decide, hey, why not? Let's go try out. This was probably the easiest, get together the club type start out for a show that I've ever seen, but no issues. Everybody's all for it. Let's all go to do tryouts. And this is where things get a little interesting, as you kind of get an idea from the very opening scene when it kind of shows, I don't know if it was a dream or if it was some sort of sight into the future where these girls all play hockey in the World Cup. But essentially, as they arrive there, you'll find out from our perspective that the lady that's heading the Dream Monkeys is actually looking to change things up for the future of hockey, at least for their place. And that's in the idea that she's looking to encourage people that don't normally watch hockey to come to their stadium because, why? She's actually going to have all the girls learn how to be idols at the same time so that when they compete, they'll actually switch to doing live performances on the ice. So yes, you guessed it. This is an idol show where they play hockey. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's going to be a hockey show where they do idol stuff. We know what we're doing here. And it's funny because I should have known that was coming based on the prior key art they released for this series was very much so focused on it being an idol show. I didn't get the fact that it was a hockey show until I seen the actual synopsis. But yes, this is a show about hockey and idols put together, I guess. But yeah, the manager greets them, brings them in, is really excited because it's pretty much all girls. She's got a lot of people that want to try out, and she starts doing stretches with them. And yes, as you can guess it, and several of the people there guess it, they're doing dance routines, not necessarily stretches. But eventually she doesn't, welcome them to the ice, and they do a little bit of practice there before kind of sending them off and hoping they'll come back the next week for the actual applications. And everybody seems excited for it. Everybody in the entire group that we've got, Monica's friends, they're all excited for this. And so it seems like that's what we're going with. Pretty much a week from now, they'll be coming back together. So yeah, my thoughts on this. Overall, I wasn't too sold on this show. I think the earlier interactions that we have with Monica and her friends, it's cute, it's very laid back. Wasn't really getting very solid chemistry there. I wasn't really getting a lot of comedy or anything really oozing out of the screen. It was just very kind of laid back, sitting there watching them enjoy their time. Nothing wrong with it, but at the same time, nothing really super engaging. It wasn't until they got to the actual Dream Monkeys place that I kind of got a little bit of a goofy aspect coming from the show, and that was really in the director and how she was like just basically foaming at the mouth the idea of having all these girls here, and how she was trying to hide the fact that she was essentially prepping them for doing idol stuff. All the while the girls, yes, getting the hints of that, but not necessarily understanding the fact that that's what they're going to be doing. And I'm really curious of how that's going to really lay out. Like, what is going to come from the moment that she goes, oh, by the way, I need you to do an idol routine as well. I'm assuming it's going to be something during practice. He suddenly shows up with a whole bunch of idol outfits and says, here, put these on. They're going to go, wait, well, what are we doing? Just put them on. But I will admit, there is a side of me that's a little bit disappointed. And that's mainly in the idea that I was really hoping coming into this show that it was going to be a show about hockey. Obviously, hockey is just not really a thing that we've really covered much at all in anime. And to finally have a show, even if it is all cute girls, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm just a little bit upset in the idea that this show is going to probably be more focused on the idol stuff and not necessarily about the hockey stuff. It is the standard bait and switch. I think probably for more of a Japanese audience, that's probably a good thing because they want to encourage people to watch it for the idol stuff. But at the same time, I think for the Western audience, I think a lot of people are going to be more upset in the idea that it is not just hockey. because, again, I think a lot of people do crave the idea of having a hockey show. One of the biggest comments that we get on our podcast is, what kind of shows do you think haven't been done that should be done? And a lot of people are always kind of chiming in and saying, hockey. We don't have a hockey anime. So it's a little bit of a letdown in that regard. I'm not going to say that I hate the show because of that. Don't get me wrong. I will definitely be looking forward to seeing more of this show and seeing how they balance that. But at the same time, there is a side of me that's like, man, I wish it was just a full-on hockey show. Additionally, I will say that C2C is doing a really good job on this. I was really expecting the first episode to open up with a ton of CGI. They actually animated everything without CGI. So again, I'm not sure if that's going to continue onto the further episodes, because obviously they put a lot of effort in the first episodes. Not that it was crazy animation, but at the same time, it was animated. It did look good. But honestly, we'll have to wait and see. I am really curious. I mean, obviously, they came here to play hockey. That doesn't mean they're going to be good dancers. That doesn't mean that they're going to be good singers. I don't know what the director's really thinking to bring a bunch of girls in that want to play hockey and then suddenly go, oh, by the way, can you sing? I guess I should have checked with that first, but we'll see how that plays out. And oh yeah, I almost forgot. We did get our trope character at the very end of the episode. Yes, we cannot have a show that has competition or at least an idol aspect to it without the long black-haired girl that's overly serious about it. So yes, we will have that character in here. We had it in Selection Project, and I'm super excited to run into that character. I'm being extremely sarcastic right now. Why does it always have to be a long black-haired girl that is always the over-serious character that they have to somehow break into being nice and happy about things? But yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. This is going to be a train wreck. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, that's Pride of Orange. We'll see where it goes from here. Hopefully this ends up being my sugar show of the season, because I don't think I necessarily have one quite yet. So we'll see where that goes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. Comment, let me know what's the thought of the episode if you're going to check it out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video if you can. Support us on Patreon if you can. We definitely appreciate everybody that does. Also down in the comments, let me know, are you upset about the idea that it's both idol and hockey and not just hockey? But yeah, y'all take care.